damn, I'm hungry. But for those watching who have never seen any of the other episodes and aren't sure, he basically talks about homeostatic hunger, which is driven by real, like actual biological signals, low blood sugar, an empty stomach, things like that, regulated by actual hormones like ghrelin and leptin. And then he talks about hedonic hunger, cue driven. So like I guess a good example would be, let's say you walk past a bakery or someone's baking cookies. My wife made cookies the other day, and I smell it. And I'm like, damn, I'm hungry. That smells awesome. Now I want cookies. I wasn't actually hungry, but now I suddenly am. That's not biological hunger. You see a bowl of candy at work, you reach in without thinking just because it's there, right? Or you always eat dessert after dinner, which we did that down in when we were on vacation. But your brain expects it even if you're full. We do things out of habit rather than out of actual homeostatic hunger. And those are automatic behaviors that they feel like hunger, but they're actually driven by conditioned responses to things that we've ingrained in our life. And the things that he recommends are I think the number one big thing is fix your food environment first, right? I think his strongest and most repeated recommendation is to control your environment. Don't rely on willpower, because he's basically saying you can't out discipline your brain, but you can redesign your life to work. A couple of suggestions he makes: don't keep those hyper-palatable foods in your house. If it's not within reach, you're less likely to actually go for it. Make healthy foods, the healthy foods, more convenient. So instead of a bowl of candy, maybe you have a bowl of fruit that's visible at all times. Using larger containers for whole foods. I think out of sight equals out of mouth is the big one. Like, even seeing food can trigger cravings. So that's why it's important to control your environment, right? So you're essentially reducing your exposure to the cues that activate your brain's reward systems. Less exposure means fewer cravings, means less need for willpower. And the other one that he is big on is eating foods that promote satiety. So, in other words, eating in a way that makes you feel fuller for longer, right? Because he basically says satiety is the brain's primary defense against overeating. So he recommends more protein, because we know protein has a high satiety effect. Whole and minimally processed foods, high fiber intake, and especially avoiding foods that contain like high amounts of fats and carbs together. So unfortunately, that means like pizza and fries and like delicious things, ice cream. But essentially, that combo is highly rewarding and rarely satisfying in the end.